NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us on the west coast of the Sunshine State. Downtown Tampa's the spot, Raymond James Stadium. Just a short time ago, the Buccaneers emerging from their tunnel to the roar of this frenzied crowd here in the Sunshine State. And we're in the big ship, and fittingly, everyone here ready to do battle as Tampa Bay gets ready to match up with Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
On the return, here's Hall. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Here come the Falcons, and at the helm, their starting quarterback since the day he was drafted back in 2008. Their all-time leading passer, Matt Ryan.
It's Week 17, Brandon, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it. He's not going to win the MVP award. But that doesn't mean to me that he shouldn't get strong consideration. I think he's been terrific this year.
He has, and I think the highest praise came from the coaching staff telling us that he's been more vital to our team than any other quarterback in the league. If your coaches are saying that, you feel pretty good.
Yeah, I actually heard from an opposing coach earlier this week where he said, look, he's not going to win it, but he should. He's been the best player we played against this season.
From the 29, Ryan, and he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
On the play, and it's third down.
They'll try and pick up the first with Gurley. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line.
He was brought down.
Defense had a chance to get off the field here on the opening drive, couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches, and sometimes maybe we can get, a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important third down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, and the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
Intended target on that one, Russell Gage. That'll bring up second down. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays, I'm eking over into your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, we're not talking about our on-air commentary. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally, you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things up here for this next play. On first down, Ryan. Man open, that's Calvin Ridley. Touchdown, Falcons.
Complete.
Calvin Ridley hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Falcons have taken the early lead. Well, that's how they envisioned it, get the football to start the game and score.
And I don't know if that was scripted. Was it an audible? Or was it just a play call that they had in their pocket? No matter what, they had the right call on against the right defense, and they end up in the end zone.
Following a touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. On the return, it's Kenyon Barner. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Now we see the 14-time Pro Bowler, maybe the greatest to ever play the position, Tom Brady, getting set to lead this Buccaneer offense.
It's Week 17, Brandon, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it. He's not going to win the MVP award. But that doesn't mean to me that he shouldn't get strong consideration. I think he's been terrific this year.
He has, and I think the highest praise came from the coaching staff, telling us that he's been more vital to our team than any other quarterback in the league. If your coaches are saying that, you feel pretty good.
Yeah, I actually heard from an opposing coach earlier this week where he said, look, he's not going to win it, but he should. He's been the best player we played against this season.
6-yard pickup.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Here's a throw caught by Gronkowski. And Gronk says, wait room. They can't tackle it. Gronkowski's going to go. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. Rob Gronkowski with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Buccaneers are an extra point away from tying up this football game. Charles, that was a heck of a play.
It truly was, because when he made that catch, he had to shake through some people, right? So that play, to me, a highlight film that should be accompanied by bass music, right? I mean, boom, 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 and he finds his way to the end zone. Terrific play.
Extra point up and good by Suckup, and we are tied at 7.
Bradley Pinion to kick off for Tampa Bay.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. On the return, here's Hall. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line.
At their own 20-yard line.
Falcons offense making their way onto the field. Let's take a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season. As this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right,
and that's caught inside the 30. And he takes it all the way down to the 28-yard line.
52 yards.
So that changes things in a big way. Now from all the way down inside the 30, here's 1st and 10. Gurley. And he'll get about 4 as he's brought down at the 24.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
Ryan's throw caught by Jones. And he'll get it down this time to the 17.
Julio Jones. A gain of 7.
I know this may be jumping the gun a little bit, but 7-7, they're flinging it around like crazy. Look at the drive that's going on here. Partner, we may have to start thinking about one of these defenses just holding someone to a field goal and maybe trying to get an advantage that way.
And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
On 2nd and 12, Ryan to the right side and complete to Hurst. Then I think the ball's out, and it's picked up by the Buccaneers. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Recovered by the defense.
Always costly to cough up that football. These defenders, they become so adept, though, at jarring it free.
Yeah, it's amazing that there aren't more fumbles caused, because now, if you're an offensive player, you go through ball security drills every single day. It's really not out of line to think you should take the ball to bed with you and just hold on to it. But the bottom line is, no matter how much you try to protect it, these guys are pretty good at finding ways to knock it out.
And all the way to the 25 before he's hit and dropped. The catch and run, good for 24 yards. Now a 1st down carry by Jones. And he's going to be stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. Nothing there for him. 2nd down.
Right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. Brings up 2nd and 10. At the
2nd and 10. These two teams all tied after 1.
With the score tied 7-7.
Here's 2nd and 10. They'll run with a late signee in Bucs camp. It's Leonard Fournette. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give him a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call our BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds. Brown, his first catch. It's a first down.
7-yard line.
But we can talk about it like it's just a basic route, but how about the timing on this one? Lined up on the right, runs a deep in route, and how about the throw? Right on the money. Bam, puts it right in there and on his hands. Nice completion, really good pickup.
Brady's throw there complete. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Brings up second.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. They go back to the ground with Jones. And pretty good running as he'll be close to a first down at the Falcons' 36.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
After the run by Jones, here's 1st and 10. Shotgun now for Brady. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tougher, guys trying to get to the football.
3 tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. Brady gives this one off to Jones. And they'll get this down to the 10. It's a 10-yard pickup, and that's enough to move the chains. This is a very impressive drive, especially when you consider where they started from to now be set up 1st and goal.
Yeah, and some nice running right there. That's what got them the first down. But at this point, I suggest open up your playbook. You can call just about what you want.
And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. It was Ricardo Allen there on the coverage. Brady's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10. To throw again. Brady escaping the pressure right. And he hauls it in for the Buccaneer touchdown. Chris Godwin, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Bucs have taken the lead. So he scrambled right, but was able to look back toward the middle of the end zone to find the target.
As you know, in this game, sometimes you just have to know when to break the rules, because we all know most guys throwing the football are taught never throw back into the middle of the field on a scramble. He did it and got away with it for a touchdown.
Instinct sometimes, right? They just take over.
Instinct and vision. Sometimes you just see people who are open, you're able to get it to them.
On the return, here's Hall. And he'll be stopped up at the 25.
For 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Atlanta prepped and ready for its next possession. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, pump the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. Past the 20. Touchdown, Falcons. Calvin Ridley with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Falcons are an extra point away from tying the football game.
Lining up for the point after.
He's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the 2nd quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Extra point by Koo, up and good. And we've got a tie game here in a back-and-forth first half. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
At their own 23-yard line.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. Even though they might not find the #1 seed next to their name come playoff time, there's not going to be very many teams, if any, entering the playoffs on the kind of run they're on. They're hot.
And I love that word, hot, because every team in the league wants to go into the playoffs on that uptick, because a lot of the time you serve notice to the rest of the league that, hey, we're the team you need to deal with. We're the team that's going to be a real problem for you. And if they can continue this streak, they could very well be that team and gain that confidence that they're seeking as they head to the playoffs.
And confidence, that's the word I would use from our meetings with them. They said we're playing our best football right now. It is showing. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. Working from the gun, it's Brady. That's complete to his receiver, Godwin. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver.
Now a hit and a loose football.
Fumble on the play. Recovered by the receiving team.
And that's what friends are for.
Right. As the returner, you know who you're buying dinner for later.
Oh, without a doubt, because he just took care of you and your team in a big way. You know, you turn it over there, that's a big momentum changer and put your defense in a bad spot.
And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down.
First down.
And now with that completion, he's north of 200 yards here in the first half.
And he's going to break our statistician, Marvin, isn't he? Because Marvin right now is just tallying it up. Hope his hand doesn't hurt too much doing this, or keeps hitting the calculator. But my goodness, what a start he is off to. By the end of this game, he could have monster numbers. He just wants to continue to be accurate.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Ryan. And they'll set up the screen to Gurley. The Falcons going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. From midfield now, here's Ryan. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he's going to have a Falcons first down as that'll be a pickup of about 5 as they convert on 3rd and inches. Now Jones is hit. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Buccaneers. He's got the lane, and there he goes. And he returns it to the end zone. A fumble recovery touchdown for the Bucs. And he has great speed, defensive back speed. Once he got it and took off, there was no catching.
And I know every team tells you to hustle no matter what the play, but there was no chance of catching him. Maybe if it had been a defensive tackle running with the ball, but not in this case.
Extra point put through by Suckup, and the lead is now 21-14.
For Tampa Bay.
So not much time to work with here. 9 seconds remain in the half as this one is away. Here's Smith to return it. And with a marker down, he's up just past the 25-yard line, but I think they're going to be going backwards. Let's check the call. Well, that holding call set him up with not great field position.
Not at all when you tack on the penalty. But that field position after the return wasn't terrific. It's not a great starting field position as well.
And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. And now a timeout defensively after that first down play. So they're going to make this offense sweat out half number 1. All that remains is to snap this once, and that'll do it for the first half of play. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17. You want the third quarter already? No problem. Let's do it.
14.
The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. Now it's Barner. He takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26.
Let's take over 1st and 10 at their own 20.
Out come the Buccaneers as they'll have it first to start in the third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. Now the second down throw on target. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
Open man is got it. It's complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. It was third and short, and they go flying past the marker for a gain of nearly 30 yards.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. Second and 10 coming up. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football. And that's a nice job there because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties, and he's able to knock that one away.
A pass underneath for Fournette. And he'll be taken down well before the first at about the 36-yard line. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up fourth down.
And that's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, short tackle.
So put it under 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the third quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
A lane opens here. He's past the 30. Now a hit and a loose football. And it's picked up by the Buccaneers. And careless with a football there on the kick return.
And one thing I love about going to practices is trying to get around coaches and hear their catchphrases and what they really emphasize. We haven't been to a single one yet this year where a guy fielding a kick, you don't hear, tuck it away, tuck it away, tuck it away. And this time, they turned it over.
Ball security eluded him. Mike Evans, the one he was looking for. And now it's second down. On the draw, this is Fournette. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3.
Grady Jarrett on the tackle there. Remember how he emerged in the Super Bowl against New England? Continues to step his play up. Was a Pro Bowler for the first time after 2019.
Flush to his right. He can run for it, and he will. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. And in Week 17, let's hope this won't affect him for the playoffs. We'll step aside. On first down, Brady. Flushed out right. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Antonio Brown. His third touchdown now on the year as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. And he shows some mobility there, getting outside the tackles, moving to the right, making a nice play.
He had the whole field in front of him and was able to actually throw it about where he was looking, right? He said he moved to the right, had his vision there, and put a nice pass into the end zone for a touchdown.
Extra point up and good by Succop. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17.
Pinion, the kickoff for Tampa Bay.
Now Pinion with the kickoff honors following the touchdown. Takes this about 5 yards deep. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Matt Ryan and the Falcon offense set to get going again. And he's been pretty good, and we see some of his good play, but I guess maybe he needs to be a little bit better right now. They're down.
He does look good in the spotlight, though, doesn't he? He does look good in the highlight.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. The intended target was Calvin Ridley, and that'll bring up second down.
Brings up 2nd and 1.
Play action. It's Ryan. Caught on the right side by Jones. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Ryan. And he's going to have the hook up to Gage. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Russell Gage, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Falcons cut into that lead. And nothing too crazy there. A quick slant, and then he just had a seam. He found a seam.
And when you hit it on the run like that, and I mean the pass right to the receiver who's already in motion and moving, sometimes he just takes it and runs away from everyone else.
And he ran it into the end zone. And the defense, they've got to adjust there quickly. That's tough on them.
That's really tough because everything was executed well. Ball was out of his hands quickly, into the hands of the receiver, and then he was gone.
Now a crease here as he's past the 30.
The Bucs take over 1st and 10. At their own 30.
Again, we see Tom Brady and the Bucs set to take over. And do you think he personally is evaluating his game so far? He was pretty good in the first half, been good so far here in the 3rd quarter. He's got to like it right here.
Not looking for the dramatics here. Not trying to set the world on fire in terms of stats. It's almost like you're driving. Hands at 10 and 2, alert for anything out there, watching for trouble on the road, and making sure you get the team home.
The bus driver. See if we can drive the bus here again on this drive.
Well, you most certainly don't want to go 3 and out here and give the football right back because your friend, Old Momentum, he's wondering if he should change sidelines about right now. And if you don't convert here, guess what? He's going to make the trek to the opposite side, and all of a sudden, you've got a battle on your hands. Partner, the way this offense has marched up and down the field during this game, it's almost a surprise to see an incomplete pass on 3rd down, isn't it?
Yeah, they have had their foot on the gas all game long, but here finally stalling out. And you can't do it much better than that. This ball kicks out of bounds at the 4-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Now Ryan down around the goal line. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Sean Murphy-Bunting. And it's a pick 6. He brings it back to the house for a Buccaneer TD. So this defense doubling its pleasure there. Remember, they had the fumble return for a score earlier in the game, and now this time an interception return for another score. Extra point put through by Suckup, and that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17.
The kickoff for Tampa Bay.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. On the return, here's Hall. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
At their own 23-yard line.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They'll try and start the drive with Gurley. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
And he's going to have just a couple here with a marker on the field as well. That time, the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now, depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold them.
On second down, here's Ryan. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked up by Levante David. And the return will stop right around the 25. Well, what a game for this offense and the 43-year-old QB Tom Brady. And, hey, if they get points here, they can finally surpass his age on the scoreboard. And somehow he's going to get a yard out of this as he fought through that first contact. It's second down. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Again, it's Jones. He's got the first down inside the 10 and down to the 7-yard line. Now they'll have it 1st and goal following that gain of 17. I tell you, they didn't give it to him much for the first 3 quarters, but when they have, he's been efficient. Maybe they ride him more here down the stretch.
Hey, I'm not sure it was actually in the game plan for him to have as few carries as he has, but it might play out really well for them now. As you noted, they want to ride him down the stretch. He should have fresh legs.
And a hard-earned yard there as he ran through one would-be tackler. It's 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and goal.
From the shotgun to give to Jones. He gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4.
He was brought down.
2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action.
And he hauls it in for the Buccaneer touchdown. The 4th touchdown pass of the game for Tom Brady. And the Bucs capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff position? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
And not much. Now a hit and a loose football. And it's picked up by the Buccaneers.
Oh, yeah, that's how we do it.
And he returns it to the end zone. A fumble recovery touchdown for the Bucs. So they get the 1-score kickoff, get a fumble, take it right back to the house. 2 quick touchdowns within a matter of about 10 seconds on the game clock.
It's like a big 1-2 punch that may lead to a knockout.
Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. On the return, here's Hall. And he'll be out of bounds across the 25.
The Falcons take over 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Yards on the pickup.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass, looked like it was coming together, looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Yet again, Ryan is intercepted. Picked off by Levante David. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. The utter domination here just continues. This defense, I don't know what more we can say all around about their performance.
Well, it certainly feels in this game like maybe they're facing a Canadian defense. 12 guys on the field. It feels like there's an extra on every snap because they have really struggled to make headway through the air.
Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2.
2nd and 2.
go again to Jones. And he gets it down to the 32. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And a missed tackle there as he pushes forward for a gain of 4.
He was tackled
At the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle, feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run. But the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
ball carrier.
And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
At the Falcons' 8-yard line.
The jet sweep. This is Godwin. And he'll take this for a short gain on what will prove to be the final play of this ball game.
Buccaneers 52.
Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.